Pokemon trying to put a spell on you, but falling asleep instead.
Is that what they sound like when they put spells?
What were the fat ones?
I wasn't a Pokemon person. I'm admitting it right now to the world.
Can I admit something to you that I might have told you before?
What?
Is it maybe the most embarrassing thing about me?
What?
When I was like 7 or 8, my brother explained Pokemon to me, but did not tell me that these creatures did not really exist in the world. And I was still at an age where things could be explained to me. Mm-hmm. And I would just be like, an older person is telling me, I believe
this
them.
Fact.
That's cool. That's a cool thing about the world. So I remember my brother explaining to me that there was like a cool rodent that could shoot lightning and conduct electricity named, and they were all called Pikachus. And I was like so excited to go see a Pikachu or pet a Pikachu. And it was really sad when I found out that they're not real.
First of all, I think that's probably happened to most kids in that era because that's the only thing that explains the obsession with those fucking things.
I love them.
Secondly,
Snorlax.
Yeah.
That's the one that I was trying
Snorlax. That sounds like an anti-snoring pill. All right, it sounds like
you want to shit in your sleep? You want to shit the bed?
Snorlax.
Take a Snorlax.
A nighttime laxative. It's in Tylenol PM and in laxative mixed.
Yes, it is.
Or an Ambien and a laxative. And, secondly, you've told me far more embarrassing things about yourself than that.
I shit the bed that one. No, I've never done that.
Speaking of shitting the bed.
We did kind of shit the bed with this intro.
And also, but in a hilarious way where now we just get to make a new bed because our guest is the opposite of a bed shitting.
Ooh, that's true.
Yeah.
I think that she would like that and should put that as the tagline on her website.
The opposite of a bed shitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. A clean sleep?
I just like the opposite of a bed shitting.
There you go. Sometimes the definition doesn't need an actual word.
It doesn't. But before we introduce her, I'll introduce you for everyone that's just starting to listen to this podcast right now. That is Sean Patton right there.
And being introduced by is Caitlin Cook. Her. That's her.
Sean, real good at grammar.
Yeah. Me, grammar, great for. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. This is the podcast where we tell stories. They're based on 5 words that our guest is telling us.
And then Caitlin, if you don't speak sloppy tongue, what Caitlin means is our guests give us 5 words from a story they want to tell based on that 5 words and what we know of our guest. We try and guess what the story is. We're always 500, 1,000% correct.
Yes.
And just to spite us, they then tell us a different version of the story, which turns out to be the true version.
Yeah.
Then we talk about it and shoot the shit some more. It's fun as fuck is what it is.
It's very fun. It's almost as fun as this tornado you're probably hearing in the background, which is a dog trying to catch its own tail.
Yeah.
Get it, Zero. Get it.
So Jo Firestone is this week's guest. She is
the opposite of a bed shitting.
Opposite of bed shitting, and twice as fun as a dog chasing its tail tornado.
That's very true. You may have seen her on The Tonight Show with Fallon. She was working with Joe Pera on his show, High Maintenance, the new season of Shrill. I loved her on that Gethard Show, and just general, she's around being a super duper funny person that you should all know about if you don't already.
She's the best.
And if you want to go check out her shows, she has got a really beautiful website, actually. It's jofirestone.com, and you can look up all of her shows on a very pretty calendar and go see her, which you should. Sean, what shows do you have this week?
This week will be in Indio, California at the Fantasy Springs Casino.
Oh, damn.
The 7th and 8th. And the 9th, Sunday the 9th, Oxnard, California at Levity Live. I've never been to either one of these places, so fresh blood, come see it.
Hell yeah.
What about you?
I am going to continue to promote the only show that matters to me, which is all the way in April. It's April 23rd. I'm doing my solo show, which is no longer a solo show because I've added on a full band.
Aha.
And I'm working with a Broadway musical director and some Broadway people, and we're doing the whole show at Feinstein's 54 Below on April 23rd.
There it is, 423.
I guess if you want to see me before then, you could come to the February Good God. It's got Lucas Brothers, Christina Hutchinson, Martin Urbano, Allison Leiby, Jenny Zagrino, and Randy the Purple Puppet.
Ooh, smokes.
Yeah.
Randy Feltface. Well, do it up. By the way, the sound effect earlier was a didgeridoo, where the guy playing it gets a cramp, gets a Charlie horse.
Can you do it one more time to send us out?
I'm going to do it in reverse.
Yep, you still sound like a Pokemon that had sex with a cat.
There it is. That's what Pokemons do. Keep them cats away from my Pokemon.
Damn.
Mouth trumpets.
That's all I can do. I can't really do it.
I don't think you're putting enough. You got to like completely loosen your face.
Like a full jowl. You ever see those pictures? I'm just going to introduce Joe right now, by the way. I don't like to have a guest sitting there listening to his mouth trumpet. Joe Firestone, everybody.
Real good. That was actually, dare I say, more of a mouth trombone.
Oh,
like
thanks.
I felt a slide in
they
there.
They called me that in high school.
Mouth trombone?
Yeah.
The Jersey mouth trombone.
I'm here, everybody.
Still playing. Wait, Jersey, right?
No, I wish. Wouldn't that be something?
Wait, really? For all these
Wouldn't
years?
That be something?
I thought you were this like magical little like ferry that got out of Jersey. I was like, how do you make a Joe Firestone in Jersey?
Wow, thank you.
Somewhere in a magical pot, a magical land.
From what if I did? What? Somebody once told me they thought I was from Long Island, and that also felt very cool. I'm from St. Louis.
Oh, yeah. Midwest, big city in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Speaking of trumpets.
I like St. Louis.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this last night because Super Bowl. And we were with lots of St. Louis people.
Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that just to date, this episode is taking place the day after the Cincinnati Chiefs defeated the Oakland 49ers. Yeah. I'm just saying that because neither one of you knew.
I thought they don't go to Kansas City anymore.
No, they are the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh. Yeah, they are.
And the San Francisco 49ers.
I really was like, oh, that's a good scoop. I'll talk about that
later. I just like to see how big of football fans our guests are by doing that, apparently.
Yeah, I guess
so. No, the Kansas City did. So the Midwest, the pride is back in the Midwest.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I was worried.
You were worried about the pride.
That I was going to lose to the West.
To the West. Because the West has had pride for far too long.
No,
it belongs.
It's the ultimate destination.
Yeah.
Right, especially in San Francisco. It belongs.
Not anymore, though. It's slowly draining out.
Kansas City. The furthest west the mafia would go, apparently.
The rent is low and the pride is high. So
Boom.
they say.
Oh.
Boom. And it's reverse in San Francisco.
It's always a balance.
The pride is low and the rent is.
Well, how would your mouth trumpet differ if it was based in San Francisco versus
if it was in San Francisco?
The Midwest.
It'd just be DJ.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I see that. They don't want to hire real musicians. They just want to pay for a DJ.
I feel like the city and like the hardcore people of San Francisco are trapped or like held prisoner by the money of San Jose. Of the I don't know if it's San Jose or Cupertino of like the Silicon Valley.
The font?
The font. They're held enslaved by the font. Cupertino.
Cambria is keeping them home.
Yes.
Oh, we need to send in some wingdings to free these people.
Well, it's you'd think that people don't want to leave because they don't want to sell their house, or they.
No, I mean that there are people who love that city who are like born and bred, diehard San Francisco people. But they don't want to leave, but they can barely live there because it's been made so expensive.
Yeah,
by
it's
the
definitely
silicon.
changed more so than I would say like most cities in my lifetime. I can't think of a single other one that's maybe gone through such a rapid change. in the past 20 years. I don't know.
Gary, Indiana. I don't know. I've never been. I don't know.
You
don't. It's unnecessary.
Once they got this song, that was
they were like, we got a thing.
They were out of here
anymore.
Wait, Gary, Indiana has a song?
The music.
Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana,
Gary, Indiana. Say it once again.
Yeah. I feel like you guys are teaming up and doing the thing that I did with football to you two.
Oh no, this is
like,
real.
There's a Gary.
Real.
Okay.
It's real.
Gary, Indiana, my home, sweet home. I was trying to remember more lyrics, but that's all I got, basically.
Gary, Indiana, he owes me $40.
I mean, you can do it too.
Hey, Gary,
just wrong.
Pay me back or I'm going to tax your whole city.
If there is a guy named Gary, Indiana, he's definitely taking money from people and not paying it back.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And if your last name is Indiana, I get why you would do that, but it's also, it's a real name to saddle a child with.
Wait, can I ask you one thing? Because you mentioned like...
Ask as many things as you want.
Well, you mentioned like, oh, they don't want to pay for a real musician. But then I was just thinking about like a wedding. If you have a wedding, do you think it's kinder, more respectful of the arts to pay for a musician knowing that they'll have a horrible time, that they don't want to do this, but they make money? Or is it better to pay for a DJ knowing that this is really their big shot?
Yeah.
It's weddings. This is what they
think about that, because weddings are such a different thing than like a real event.
Yeah.
But there are like bands that, like, I was in a Motown cover band in college. Like, I had so much fun and everyone loved those songs, and to get paid for that was a real treat. But if you're if you're a musician that's really trying to make your own music and like weddings are a side hustle, then I don't know.
Right.
That's so funny, the idea of a bunch of DJs sitting around and be like, did you get the Cooperman wedding? I was going for the Cooperman wedding.
Well, you were just on a cruise with all those EDM DJs.
Yeah, those guys don't do weddings.
No.
They do very specific type of weddings.
Yeah.
Held in, suite, like the 45th floor of a building in the financial district.
Whoa, that sounds like I want to go.
That sounds like, I want to go to the elevator, back down to the ground, and go somewhere else. My sister did a very interesting thing during her wedding. She hired, and they spent, like most of her budget was spent on this. They hired it was in New Orleans. They hired a brass band called the Hot 8 Brass Band to do her wedding. And brass bands are essentially, they're amazing. It's all the rage in New Orleans for years now. But there's no singer, really. There's lyrics every now and again that they'll trade off singing. But it's basically like a marching band that is just funky.
Yeah.
Right? It's amazing. And they played, and it was great, and people danced and got into it. But there was no, like, sometimes you could tell it was like a cover. It's like, oh, they're covering Bobby Brown song right now or something, But like for the most part, it was just like, jazzy, dancey, like, like I wish if you're watching the video, how I'm bouncing around. You are. But just very fun music to just kind of dance to. And her thing about that, which I find interesting, she was like, I didn't want the whole wedding just to break down into she wanted people to dance, but like, if you're playing if it's a DJ and they're playing songs everyone knows, eventually everybody's just on the dance floor, fucking hammered and just dancing to songs, and everyone, and that's fun, but she wanted it to be more of like, she wanted to remain social.
Oh,
that's interesting.
In a way that was like, go dance, go get crazy, but also, and at the same time, it's music that you're maybe hearing for the first time. In brass, it was great. Like, it was definitely. And then my uncle's band is a cover band called the Nobles. They played as well. She had two bands.
Oh, that's cool.
And they like, to my recollection, they like traded off.
Whoa.
Like, it would be like a couple of like hot covers, and then the Hot 8 Brass Band.
Whoa.
We'd all be like, yes, mouth trumpet, and then real trumpet.
Wow.
And it was a lot of fun. Cool. Yeah.
Well, when I came,
wait, what are you gonna do for your wedding?
Oh, I think I'm gonna do both, probably.
Yeah.
But I went to New Orleans to open for Chris Gethard, and he we both kind of timid. I guess kind of like maybe we come across as week maybe, or kind of just like we want to make a big show, but sometimes it's not always, it's in the cards. But we were like trying to make it like a special show.
Yeah.
And so we were walking around and we were like, well, let's book a big brass band.
Oh, that's fun.
For the show?
Yeah.
Like to be on stage,
to come on, surprise everybody.
I love this.
But so then we were like, we just went up to one that was sounding really good, and we were like, and Gethard was like, I have $400 cash. What should I pay them? And I was like, you should $400.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know, we'd never been, and so we were like, okay, here is He's like, should I negotiate? I was like, no, just give him the $400. And so we just gave him the $400.
Throw it in the tuba.
and they were like, sure, yeah, we'll come. What time? And then no phone number exchange, whatever. So then we do the show, like we haven't heard from them. And like in the middle of the show, they come by, play for 3 minutes, and go.
Yeah, wow, that's hilarious.
We are like, okay, and nobody in the audience cared because we realized that that's like the equivalent of like bringing, like, I don't know, what's like a cab driver.
Oh yeah, or being like, "There's pizza in New York." Being like, "Look at that pizza."
Yeah.
The guy's got a pizza. Like,
That's funny.
So it was a little bit. It was he was pretty angry that I encouraged him to do that. But I would say that was
I mean, and truthfully, that has to be how those guys make a lot of their money in New Orleans. Like being like, just people being like, "Oh my God, you're not you guys, way more like drunk."
Sure.
Like drunk rich girls, like, "Oh my God, you guys are amazing. How much? Come to my party tomorrow. We're doing a shower. We're doing like a wedding shower for my friend. She's not getting married though. It's just like she should be by now. Anyway, here's a check. You just fill in. Here's a blank check. You just write what you want. They come by and they show up and just play for 8 minutes and are like, bye.
It's a good deal.
$4,000.
Yeah. $400 for
3 minutes.
3 minutes. That's really good. I mean, what are your guys' rates?
How many pieces were in this band?
I think 5 of them showed up.
That would basically boil down to $8,000 an hour.
But that's awesome when you're in a band though, because for the most part, like, you end up splitting it with so many other band members, and you have to lug all your stuff, and that's sweet.
Yeah, I think that's how DJs got the edge.
It definitely is.
No stuff.
Because it's just a laptop.
Yeah.
Or I guess back in the day, obviously turntables, but that was a different.
Well, it's like who can get. We need music. Who can get here fastest?
Yeah.
DJ's gonna win.
DJ's like, I got a Razor scooter. I got a Vespa and a backpack full of jams.
Yeah. Jams? Yeah. Oh, jams.
And Jan also, I'm a DJ. I got
love
jams and
like,
jams.
I got strawberry preserve, apricot marmalade.
I like the idea of a DJ who's like, I got jam for your ears and jam for your toast.
Yeah.
Boom.
I still want to do this. This is an event idea I had a long time ago, but I want to do a pajama jam where everyone shows up with a sort of jams and jellies wearing their pajamas, and then we have a live band and people are doing jams.
That sounds
great.
great.
I would do that. I would show up to that shit.
Who's bringing the toast? You?
Oh, I don't know.
Kaylin doesn't like carbs. So
That's
she would just
not true.
She would just eat it out of there with a spoon.
I do like. I would eat it out with a spoon. I would eat it out with a spoon. This guy
got it
right.
Recorded. It's out there. Caitlin will eat it out with a spoon.
Would have a bakery donate some bread. That's what I would do.
Do you like carbs?
Yeah, it just depends on the carbs, I guess.
Oh,
I was raised by a very health conscious dancer choreographer mother and a chef for a father, so I have lots of weird food issues.
Sure.
And I on the other hand,
just to make this podcast super dark. Great.
And I on the other hand ate a mayonnaise sandwich last night.
No.
While watching The Outsider on HBO.
Of course you did.
No.
Yeah, just a mayonnaise sandwich.
No.
Yeah,
there had to be something else on there.
Nope, mayonnaise.
I can't believe it.
Mayonnaise. I love mayonnaise so much.
I don't want that.
I don't like it. I don't like mayonnaise. Do you like mayonnaise?
Yeah. It's in the top 5 condiments.
That's so funny.
I love
mayonnaise, ketchup, yellow mustard, salt and pepper. There you go.
That's another hit by Gary.
Yeah.
Was that the Gary Indianas?
No.
Who's that song by, the Gary Indianas?
Who
song?
wrote that? Rodgers and Hammerstein?
Yeah, it's in The Music Man. The musical.
Oh.
Which I think if we did it, if the Cellar did a production of The Music Man, I would cast you as Harold Hill, no question.
For sure.
Actually, I think I want to do.
Marina Franklin's getting Marion the librarian.
Yes, I was about to be like, who's that part? Yeah.
What are you?
I don't perform at the Cellar, so I couldn't possibly take part, but I'll attend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're casting, if the musical is Joe Fire, that would be fucking hilarious. If it was like Joe Firestone presents, and they're like, "Why isn't she on the stage?" Like, well, she's not past here. They let her do a whole musical, but she's still got to audition for Esty.
I got to do my Gary Indiana number for her.
Yes.
Blow her away. You should.
I think she'll like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think it will very much impress her.
Immediate pass. Yeah.
I think they would actually. I think they would love you at the Cellar. They've opened the door to like long ago to like more like not just like, hey guys, so I'm up here. Who else is up here fucking?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot. That's every comedy show has.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody kind of goes into that, but like I felt like years and years and years ago, all the comedy clubs in New York were very just like you had to be a certain style to even set foot on the stages, and now the Cellar, the Standard, are like, nah, if it's funny, it's funny. We don't care.
That's
we just want it to be funny.
It's opening up a bit more.
But
do you do it?
No, I'm definitely more of like the alt rooms.
Me
too.
The alternative scene.
I'm more. I'm just like a little more highbrow.
On Bring the Funny, you'd be in the alt category.
Yeah.
And you'd be in the stand-up.
And Bring the Funny?
On the Bring the Funny.
Yeah.
What is that? Was this a show we're doing
What
too?
are you talking about? Bring the Funny on NBC?
Yeah.
Is that a show?
Oh my gosh. The ultimate comedy competition.
I don't even it sounds like your enthusiasm is so good right now that I'm like, she could be fucking with me. And I might
Honestly, it's all true.
Yeah.
You'd think I'm messing. Honestly, it's all true.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's no Masked Singer. I'll say that. But
Oh God.
it's up there.
Really? So all of the celebrity panel doesn't fake.
Who's on? Is that the panel with Keenan? Which?
No, that's Bring the Funny. Yes.
Yes. That's the one with Keenan. Yeah.
But Masked Singer. We got Robin Thicke really leading the trail.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I do.
Oh yeah.
It's like that is such a show where it's like when you watch clips of like the singer being revealed and everybody, it's like, okay, it's a competition to see who can lose their mind the most if they didn't guess it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's performers. And then it's like, there's no fucking way you don't already know. There's no way.
I never know. You can know.
No, I'm talking about them.
The people
Oh,
who are.
right.
Oh, they
way,
probably do.
There's no way they don't already know.
I don't know. There was a trend for a while that I thought was really funny where celebrities showed up to contexts that they would not be recognized and then sing their own material. So like Adele showed up to this like Adele lookalike contest and like obviously blew everyone away, and they realized that she was singing like that's the fucking real Adele.
I remember that video.
Yeah.
I just got chills thinking about
Yeah,
it.
that was a great video. But then there were other ones where like I think it was like BB Rex. No, it wasn't BB Rex. I forget who it was. Rita Ora showed up to like a X Factor panel Germany and sang her own song, and they were like, "Oh, we don't know who you are." Like they'd never heard of her, and it was like weird that she'd done. I don't know. I think it's very odd when stuff like that happens.
Whoa. No, isn't it wild that there's like a whole celebrity culture in Germany that we have no idea?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the biggest celebrity in Germany?
David Hasselhoff. I have no idea.
I mean, that's what you'd think, but now
Angela
someone's like
Merkel?
off of horses and who?
Is it Angela Merkel?
Yes, she's the biggest celebrity.
That's the biggest celebrity.
Francesca Borshkivu. That's Russia.
Yeah.
Amelie?
Yeah. I mean, it's like every country has its own world of fame. You know,
we did this show in Norway. We've done it a couple times. Daniel Simonson set us up with it, and there was a guy before us. Everyone's doing their act in Norwegian, so we have no idea what's going on anyway. But there was this one guy before me that put on this like little blonde wig and was doing like song parodies. So I asked him like, who are you being? Because I didn't recognize the songs, and apparently there's this like big Norwegian star named Aurora, who I just recently saw an ad that she's like singing at the Oscars. So like she's clearly transcended to mass pop culture, but it is bizarre that there are just like people that are incredibly famous in one country and nowhere else in the world.
Know. So weird.
Yeah. Also, the weird crossover is like Arch Barker is a huge celebrity in Australia, but like most people in the U.S. wouldn't recognize him.
There was a PA on this show I worked on, and I was like driving with her in the car, and I was like, so what'd you do before this? And she was like, oh, I was a celebrity in Indonesia. And then she gave up that life.
Why?
But she was like on the late night talk shows in Indonesia.
That's crazy. And then she wanted to cross over, and she's working her way up. Is that why she's being a PA?
I think she wants to be in production.
Yeah,
in the U.S. for her family.
I can also understand not wanting to remain a celebrity in Indonesia. It seems like kidnapping and like certain parts of it. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I love Indonesia.
Sure you do as an American white girl tourist.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's because when I was in Malaysia, I had dinner after a show with.
You did a show in Malaysia?
Did a couple in Malaysia.
Whoa.
There's a lot. They speak English everywhere. Everyone speaks English everywhere. We're dumb. We're dum-dums.
How does the comedy, like, is it the same kind of comedy?
Yeah. Comedy is a very universal language.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Well, because I just went to Australia, and they were like, some of these jokes are not going to do well. And it was true.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Were you there for the Melbourne
festival? Yeah.
Oh, you did American Headliners this year, didn't you?
American Headliners.
At the Melbourne International Comedy Fest.
Melbourne, yep.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Yeah. But they were like, don't do these kinds of jokes, don't do these kinds of jokes.
Which, were they specifically talking about, like, categories of jokes or your specific material?
No, like categories. There's some race jokes really don't go over well, and
that's true.
It's like a little bit like graphic sex jokes. They really don't like either.
Interesting, because Australians in general are weirdly like crude at times and like loud and bombastic, and then also they come from this like British like empire, and so sometimes they can be like very weirdly. Yeah, I can see that.
I don't condone Caitlin's tethering of Australians to the UK empire.
All right.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, you're right though.
I don't condone you just thinking that I might be kidnapped in Indonesia if I was an Indonesian celebrity.
No, that's what I had dinner with like one of their super famous comedians, but who was more of like a song and dance lady. She was. I didn't realize how famous she was until afterwards, where she was like, "Come down to this bar," and she had a whole back room reserved. They just kept bringing us food, and there were Malaysian paparazzi out front, like not a lot, but talking. She's the one who put that idea in my head. What? The idea of like the more famous you get in that region, the more security you need because people look at it as like an opportunity.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but it's, I'm sure gonna be like that in America at some point, where it's just like when shit, if hopefully, if things, not hopefully as in I want this to happen, but if, the system starts breaking down.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, here we go. Wild West for real.
Yeah.
Because everybody always makes the joke of like, Wild West, man, it's going to happen. And you're like, no, you don't want that to happen. We don't want the Wild West. We don't want that lawlessness.
No, definitely not. What's the weirdest place that you've done a show?
Like physically or country?
I don't know. Either, I guess.
Okay.
I was thinking more like country, but it could be just like...
I've only performed in the States and then Australia. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure. Yep. Mm-hmm. Canada. But I think that maybe the weirdest spot was doing crowd work at an armory after Hurricane Sandy.
Oh, wow.
For the lunch line.
Yep.
What
a task to like bring a humor to that situation.
Did you piss somebody off and they were like, "Go, Joe, you got to go do this"?
I did. Yeah, I think I was certainly punished by somebody karmically. I didn't live up to the task. Pretty much made them more angry, more relieved for lunch though. I mean, ultimately it's like you should be grateful for every meal, and that's what I did.
Yeah. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But were you like on a stage?
No. I was in the light of day like everybody else, just going up and down the line saying, "What do you do? What are you most excited about?" Did
you have a microphone, like a portable microphone?
I did. It was bad. But they were begging for the violinist to come back, and I didn't blame them.
Yeah, that's something I like actively hate when you get these offers where it's like, why the fuck do you want a comedian involved in that?
I know.
Well, that's one of those situations where I'm like, sometimes it is okay to blame the audience or the situation or the booker for the most part in that situation, the booker. But like, there's so many comedians that would just be like, I should have been able to like bring like a sense of lightness or like been able to work that room, but sometimes it's just not conducive.
No, like I was just thinking about like how when it rains, when it's like cold and rainy, there's just nothing you can do in the first 10 minutes of a show to make people feel better.
Yes.
Like the first 10 minutes of any cold and rainy outside show is going to be pretty bad. Yeah. And then they just have to get comfortable.
You know what's interesting is that in the UK, so in here, like here in the US, if it's raining, like the general consensus is like, oh, we might have a lighter audience because people aren't going to come out and like people might just be a little more down. Whereas in the UK, they're like, oh, good, it's raining because they're so used to it there. It's raining all the time that it means that they want to actually go do something to like just get out of the house and see like something different or exciting.
Really?
Yeah. It's super weird.
Blighty. That's why they call England Blighty.
Old Blighty.
Old Blighty.
Yeah.
Yeah. That also surprised. I'm still harping on the fact that I wish whoever told you not to do those jokes in Australia had not told you that.
What you think I should have just done?
Yeah, because I disagree with them wholeheartedly.
You think so?
Yeah, because I've done disgustingly graphic fucking jokes in Australia, and they've been like, "Oh, mate, that was great."
Also, like, I feel like I know a lot of your material, and like, you don't get super duper sexually graphic either.
But I think I have a lower threshold, so it's like if I say something a little bit, like I feel like, for example, like if you and I said the same joke,
right?
You and me, Sean. I think that if we said it the same amount of disgusting.
Yeah.
I think people will be upset when I said it. And
I don't know.
I think
it would be so funny.
I think people would be like, oh, no.
If I got to choose the level of disgusting and we both had to say it and you said it, I think it would be so much funnier.
Have you ever done that with somebody, just done a test of the same joke?
I really want to, though, because I think about this a lot, not just in terms of like a man versus a woman delivering sexual material, but just like, what is it about? Even if you like phrased it the same way.
It was
like,
okay. Yeah. Yes, I did it with Joe Pera for one joke for 3 shows.
Oh my God. Okay. I love
and he did so much better with this joke.
Was it a dirty joke?
No, it was a really bad joke. It was a joke about how the joke was like, this is my impression of a dolphin that got one wish. And then the joke is an act out of a dolphin getting legs. He wishes for legs.
Okay.
It's really a bad joke. And it obviously wasn't working. And then he was making fun of me for doing it, and I was like, "Why don't you try it?" And then he actually crushed with it.
Oh my God,
Joe! But Joe,
he's
also
a bad example of someone to like do that with, though, because his like general delivery, he just did Good God, and like his general delivery is just like, part of you is laughing because it's so funny, and part of you is like, what am I watching right now?
Joe has an unwavering commitment. I wish this was maybe in like 2016 at the old stand. Joe went on in the middle of like a show, like a Friday night show, packed. Everyone was doing well. And I can't, I'm paraphrasing what it was.
Paraphrasing?
I'm paraphrasing. Wow, if that's not the name of his special. Joe paraphrasing. He acted out the losing of his virginity, I want to say. It was something like he humped the floor of the stage for an extended period of time, but in this very Joe, do you know this bit? Is it making sense? In this very Joe Pera way, where it wasn't like creepy or weird. It was just very like, oh, that young kid, look at that young boy going to get his loins shattered or whatever. look at that young innocent boy up there making love to a woman. But it was like anyone who had a sense of humor in that audience was gasping for air, which was maybe about 9 of us. The rest of that, it was like a drunk Friday night crowd or whatever. So a lot of people were like, "What the fuck is going on?" But like, that's kind of what you love about that dude. But I feel like Because I feel like your style of comedy in Australia, I've seen a lot of Australian comedians do. Not specifically like they're stealing Joe Firestone jokes, but stylistically, you guys, you just fit in like this, like sort of like absurdist realism. That's how I would describe your comedy.
Wow,
realistic absurdity.
Beautiful.
Does that make sense?
I love it.
Like, because I listened to one of your how many albums do you have? Is it the one?
Just one. Just
that's the one I listened to.
Oh,
because
I listened to the other one.
I listened to the. There's one that's unreleased. I don't know if you know this yet. But
wait, what's this one called so we can plug it?
the hits.
The hits.
Oh yeah,
Joe Firestone,
I love
the hits.
that artwork.
Can't really go beyond. I guess I can do the greatest hits next time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
and then the next time after that, even greater hits.
Oh, that's
Just
greater.
keep going
hits.
like
Yeah.
unbelievable hits.
And then just release one that's like the ones that didn't quite make the cut.
Yeah, and that but make that one your best.
Yeah.
You're like,
that's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
well, because that's what I love about watching you on stage too. You have moments of like just sheer absurdity where you're like, oh, this is crazy, this is going to go off the rails, and then it always comes back to like, oh, wait a second though, that's highly relatable, and everyone can and anyone can feel this. Oh, we're going back, we're back up there in the stratosphere. Oh, wait a second though, there's a docking station, and we're all gonna get Panera bread. You know?
Yeah.
I'm all about plateaus. That's kind of, plateau.
I wouldn't call it so much plateaus as much as destinations.
Wow, I'll take it.
Like it's like you take because I make this analogy a lot, but like a lot of comedians walk a very well-tread path, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Like if you want to, that's great. But then a lot of comedians also go off into the wilderness.
Sure.
And there's just like, oh God, where are they going? We're following them. I hope they know where they're going. And I feel like your comedy in that analogy is like a nature hike, where like there are parts where it's like, oh man, we got to cross this creek. We got to cross this creek without a bridge. Okay. All right. Or, wait a second. This is kind of a steep. All right, we're going to go down. Everybody got their walking sticks because this is steep. But then, oh, wait, look, here's a soda machine and some sandwiches.
Now, Joe,
you know what I mean?
have you ever had your comedy described to you in this way?
And then you're like, oh, good. I'm going to get a Dr. Pepper and a turkey sandwich, and now I feel pretty good. Oh, and a phone charging station.
I want a vending machine that has all of these.
And me too.
Yeah.
And
then
Dr.
right
Pepper
back,
and a turkey sandwich.
Yeah, and then right back into the wilderness.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like
I'll take it. Yeah,
I
sounds
like
great.
it.
Thank you. Wow.
I think from now on, every episode, you have to describe our guest comedy.
I can
in
describe
a weird
everyone's
analogy.
comedy in a hike and like analogy.
Wow.
Have either of you ever had your comedy described to you in a way that you're just like, you did not understand what was happening?
Has that happened to you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But mainly when people are like, that was bad.
I feel like you
think
guys
you were
do
just loud and
shows where you
aggressive.
you do shows. You travel and get reviews a lot. I'm sure reviews is where they. I'm sure
super
that-
weird.
I've gotten some
Yeah.
reviews. You get some.
Yeah.
When you go abroad, a lot of reviews happen.
Yeah, it's a lot more abroad.
When I did Australia last 2018, when I did Melbourne, I was doing an hour there, and one reviewer was just like, didn't like it. Hey, just didn't get it. Loud. It was just too loud for my soft Melbourne, my Victoria ears. I'm doing a terrible Australian accent on purpose because it was a terrible fucking review.
Yeah.
But then another guy gave me, or a person, I don't know, actually gave me like a 4 stars.
Yeah,
it was
that's
like
good.
was very like funny, and like did the thing where it was like you could tell it was covering their ass a little bit. It was like funny, maybe too crude for some people. But it was like, all right, thank you for.
I wouldn't
that
say you're
crudeness
crude.
No, I don't think
I think I'm
Sean's crude.
pretty crude. As I belch into the microphone, I don't think you're crude. I would say, like Caitlin, your comedy, if it were a hike,
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, here we go.
would actually be like a hike where you're like, all right, here we go. We're walking into the woods. And then there's like, nope, we're getting in these canoes. And we're going upstream. And then all of a sudden you're canoeing when you thought you'd be hiking.
Yeah.
That's how your comedy is.
Ooh,
I like it. I'll
That's
take
really
it.
good.
You
I
know?
do prefer canoeing to hiking.
Me too. It's more fun.
Well, your comedy, though, is hiking like during the fall. So it's too
That's
cold to
pretty.
canoe.
Yeah.
Whereas Caitlin's comedy is definitely like dead of summer. You're like, God damn it, we're going to hike through this shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get swampy crotch and there's going to be flies. Oh, no, canoe.
I like that.
Whereas
That's
your stuff,
good.
that's why it's scary to cross the creek.
Yeah,
in your
because it's
comedy.
too cold to canoe.
But then it's like, is this too cold? You're like, we have to do it. And then on the other side, there's coffee.
Coffee and Dr. Pepper.
I know, right?
What choices?
I mean, some people like their caffeine.
It's true. Did you get reviews in Australia?
Not really. No. Well, because we were like doing it with 3 other people.
Yeah.
So it's like what kind of safety in numbers.
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Traveling packs.
Yeah.
I learned that I don't like reviews.
Oh, no.
Like
even if they're good, they
Even
say
when they're
something
good.
that you're like, I
Yeah.
don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
Do you read comments?
No.
Me neither. I just stopped. It's awesome.
Yeah. Recently I was looking up someone that we had. Oh, it was Liz Mealy. We had her on the podcast, and I looked up one of her YouTube videos and read the comments, and she had clearly read them because she had responded to like almost all of them.
Whoa.
And it was interesting because like there were a lot of people just like defending. It was a great bit, but it was a lot of men being like, oh, like it was a bit that like had a misogynistic joke that her brother said, and then she spun it off and like made a point that was back around making fun of her little brother. And there were so many comments that were like, your brother is a better comedian than you, and like women should get off the stage and all this stuff. And like, especially for women, now I do not read comments anymore unless I want to like defend somebody.
I know, it really is hard to. It's like across the board, any woman that has a stand-up clip, it's just, you're going to get
even the nice comments are like, that was really good for a woman. Or like, so glad this woman like had great jokes and didn't talk about her pussy. And I'm like, you can't win. You can't win.
Do you read the comments?
I used to. I don't anymore because you realize what comments are, and it's just not. I mean, like when nice people who comment nice shit, great, but like it's unfortunate, and it's unfortunate because I feel like there's some people who comment who get like, but I'm saying something nice. Why not read my comment? And you're like, hey, well, unfortunately, all the rest of the comments are just wrote. But it's people who want to be assholes. That's what you got to remember. It's not like it serves zero purpose. It doesn't improve anything except make them feel better about whatever shit their life is. Because that's the thing. Comment all fucking day you want, but I've already won because I'm at least putting myself out there. That's the number one thing that you deal with any of these commenters. It's like you're the one at a computer pontificating your brilliant take on my art, but on a YouTube comment on some shit that only I and a handful of other people are actually going to see, and you're spending your time and energy to hate me, whereas I'm at least fucking out here doing it.
Yeah.
So I've won.
Oh,
I think about this sometimes as like I feel like all 3 of us are probably not the kind of people that would comment on anything. Like if I think about something that's so different from comedy, if it's like someone posting something on Instagram that's like a nice flower arrangement or whatever, even if I was like, oh, that's really pretty, I would not leave a comment. Like I just don't feel the need to insert myself into anyone else's work.
I also don't like overly bullshit positive comments either.
Yeah.
I feel like I hate that too when you read when someone's
like, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
And you're like, okay, you're clearly just trying to like, I get it. In a lot of those cases, it's trying to like help someone sell something or get attention on something. I get that. Like genuine. I hope. Here we go, Apple.
Yes. Okay.
There's a pitch. Apple or Microsoft or whoever beats whoever to the punch. Make a type of comment where there's like something that flashes on the screen that makes you, for the next 30 seconds, completely honest. You know what I mean? Where like you can't lie.
So Sean wants them to create a truth serum.
A momentary truth serum based flash that like you're like, I would like to comment now. Do you consent to be flashed? Yes. And then you're completely honest for that 30 seconds comment. Honest comments. And then because that's what I like. Yeah. Like just tell me 100%. This is why I don't, and I get it. I love them all, but like close friends and family, I'm like, I zone out whatever you say 100%. Just because it's like unless it's like my siblings are very honest with me. So I've always listened to them, but like when like my aunt wants to tell me how fucking dirty she thinks I am, I'm like, well, I'm just not for you. But then when my other aunt wants to tell me how, oh my God, when are you going to be on Netflix? I'm like, it's conflict. Or when someone's like,
when are you gonna be on Netflix?
When are you gonna be on Netflix, Sean? It's me, Aunt Susie. But like or when people say shit like, which I think is an insult. I'm saying it's an insult when someone's like, oh yeah, I saw you on YouTube, or oh yeah, man, I've seen your stuff, and then they don't tell you.
I hate
it's
that.
Like I take that as an insult. You're basically telling me I watched your shit. The thing that I know you've worked your ass off and opened your soul up to put out there, and I'm not gonna tell you how I feel about it.
I think so I've had
I want
that
to
happen
exert
a lot.
power over you,
and like where they're like, I saw you the other night, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So then I think what it is I think they're trying to be cool, and trying to stay chill, because otherwise they wouldn't tell you. That's like really sick to be like, I saw you the other night. Mm-hmm. It was really bad.
Yeah, they wouldn't say that if they didn't like. Yeah, so I think it's more of like, oh hey, we were in the same place. Here's some common ground that we have, but it's so weird.
Yeah.
I mean, friend of the podcast and previous guest Louis Katz, he's the best at. I mean, he's a friend, but he's the best at like, because he'll say things like, man, like. That audience, you know, I see that they weren't laughing, but I thought it was great. Like he'll do stuff like that where you're like, but I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like I love that so much more than when you bomb ass or you clearly were not happy with your set and you get off stage and someone's like, great set, man. You're like, don't you fucking lie to me.
Yeah, because it is almost worse, and then you don't want to ignore somebody or you don't want to like lie to them. But I think that's exactly the truth. Is just to be completely honest about it.
Yeah.
And just be like that.
Yeah. Just or like go out and be like, man, Joe, you really went for it there. You know, you went for it. I respect the shit out of that. It's unfortunate that audience was all wearing earmuffs. Or it's unfortunate that audience chose not to go on that journey. Because
I would never do that either, though, because I would just pick a specific joke that I liked and be like, that was such a great premise, or like that really hit me hard, because I don't know how that person felt about the audience. Like
I know
I could be completely off because I was sitting like directionally different from the sound of the laughter. Like I just have no idea.
I also do love though, like going up, like if Joe murders, you go up and be like, man, that audience sucked. Like why were they? I mean,
when it's very obvious.
Did you have them all kicked out? That was garbage. They were assholes. I'm sorry, that was great stuff, and they just didn't like it. That's always fun.
I do like that. Speaking of things we like.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, the thing.
Yeah. Can you tell us your 5 words?
Yes, my 5 words are full moon secret mission potluck.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Now, this is a classic Joe Firestone hit. This is one of the hits.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
it's one of the hits that didn't make it on the CD, but it might in the future.
Yeah,
growing up, St. Louis, Midwest, you know, hanging out with the Arch crew. You know, there's a big old Arch. Yeah. The Arch crew.
Yeah.
That was Joe's gang of friends. They called themselves the Arch crew.
Yeah.
Right? Then there was one of the Arch crew kids was having a birthday party. This is, of course, senior year in high school for you.
Yeah, I'm going to say it was your friend Megan.
You think, but then that makes me question. Joe used to have friends named Megan. I feel like now.
You know what? Yeah, this was a Megan in the same way that I'm a Caitlin. Does that make sense?
Right. Like your parents underestimated what you'd become.
Yes.
So, Megan's birthday party. Joe's hanging out and just houses. I'm thinking, you know, we all know you have a predilection towards birthday cake, so you just went to town.
Yeah.
And you got real full on some birthday cake, and that's a different type of full. Yeah, it's not like full
on.
It's
like a very sweet, almost like some uncomfortable.
It's an uncomfortable full.
You shouldn't get,
but it's celebratory.
But you're full on wedding cake, and so you can't get in the pool.
Wedding cake.
Birthday cake. Sorry.
Get the facts straight.
Yeah. Well, it's Megan. Everybody knows Megan like to be like, I'm gonna have a birthday party, but I'm gonna have a wedding cake for my birthday party.
Yeah.
Megan's
like that.
Megan's like that. Yeah. Rich St. Louis money, all that Arch money. All that.
Maybe she isn't a Megan the same way that I'm a Caitlin.
Right.
She's exactly like a Megan.
Yeah, she's a Megan. So you're uncomfortably full, and it's a pool party.
You can't get in the pool because you're full.
You're so full, so you're sitting on like the chaise chair watching everybody just sort of like cannonball, and you go inside to like get some water because you're just like feeling like really sugary and dehydrated, and you see your friend Megan's boyfriend, Joshua, is mooning someone, and it's not Megan.
He is, and she isn't.
Yeah.
And
he's mooning your other friend,
Tabitha.
Amy. Tabitha. I like Tabitha better.
So that's crazy because everybody knows in the Midwest, that's if you're a guy, that's how you pitched woo at a lady. You just straight showed her your ass.
Yeah.
Like, look at my butt. I like you.
Yeah.
Right.
If the hole is expanded, that means they want to proceed.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And for the guys, the hole's always expanded.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So Tabitha sees Josh mooning her.
Yeah.
So
God.
but Josh doesn't see it. She swats him away. She's like, "Yeah, I'll meet you around back." Then she pulls you aside. She's like, "What the fuck, Joe?
Yeah, what the
Josephine?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Did you still go by Josephine back then?
Yeah.
Josephine, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
What are you watching?" Excuse me. She smokes cigarettes.
Yeah.
Marlboro Lights.
Yeah.
I mean,
back
her
then,
name
Marlboro
is
Ultra Lights
It's
back
very
then.
fitting.
Honestly, this is like drunk history, but not drunk.
Yeah. She's
is
like,
real.
"Listen, Joe, I need you to keep that a goddamn, secret. Obviously,
Yeah.
You need
Megan
to
can't find out.
You need to carry this to your grave.
It's Megan's birthday.
It's Megan's birthday.
In fact, I'm gonna get you. I got it." And she doesn't say this part to you.
No.
She says this in her head. She's like, "I got to get Josephine out of here.
No.
And make sure she keeps that secret." So she hands you the fake ID. The whole group had a fake ID.
Yeah, we all looked away.
That just kind of shared, And she's like, "You know what to go get some booze, Joe, or Josephine. We're running low on booze. Take the fake ID.
Yeah.
I'm sending you on a mission
Yeah. That's your
to
mission.
go get some fucking wine coolers for the jam for the party."
And you're like, should I tell Megan? Like, you're feeling very conflicted, but you're also feeling very full. And you just decide,
I'm
okay,
still
at least
full.
I can think about what I want to do and go get some booze.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back and I'll have made a decision by then. So you go to this liquor store that usually takes this fake ID. And he is like, "This doesn't look anything like you."
Yeah.
Like, no. But he gives you back the ID, which is rare. So you're standing outside holding this ID, trying to figure out what to do, and you run into.
There's another stranger guy you've never met named Chad.
Yeah.
He's like,
right.
"Hey, Josephine," and you're like, "You're not a stranger. I know you. We usually end up buying beer with our fake IDs together."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Did he shut you down too?" And you're like, "Yeah." Like, "What are we gonna do?" He's like, "Well, I got some dope. I got some marijuana. Want to get high?"
Yeah.
And you were like, "I've never smoked pot. But I've never done it before."
But maybe it'll settle my stomach or
Right,
like help me
I'm still
make this
full.
decision about
Yeah.
Megan.
So you ripped down a doob.
Yeah, I ripped it down.
Ripped it down. Now you're high out of your fucking gourd. And you're like, "You know what? Let me try this again." You walk right back in to that same liquor store confidently. And you fucking put more. You had a 12-pack before. Now you put a case
What?
of wine coolers. You slap down the ID. And like the guy had never seen you before. Such confidence.
Yeah.
He just goes, "Oh, you know what? These are all on sale. In fact, they're all on me. Just take them. Have fun out there."
I had a good.
Right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You confidently, he's like, he gave the shit to me. And Chad was like, "Wow, man, pot makes you lucky. Pot, that's some serious pot luck right there."
Serious pot
Oh
luck.
yeah.
You get
Yeah.
it. And so
Who knew that's where that was
that's
going?
where
Yeah.
Wow.
Pot luck.
And then you rolled back to the party.
And you're all confident now.
Confident
and
now.
your stomach's all settled because of the weed.
Right.
And you got 24
So many
fucking wine coolers.
Yeah.
And because you were high, you forgot that you even saw the dude moon
Yeah,
Tabitha.
Josh.
You forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Friendships remained intact. Now they're married with 6 kids.
Oh gosh, that's how it goes in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's that. I mean, we nailed it. I think that
I think we
I
nailed
feel
the story.
I feel almost confidently that we nailed like we
You
smoked.
did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
So what's the real story?
Well,
So it isn't
first
the
of all,
time.
I just want to say, they when they say to give criticism, always sandwich it with a compliment. So I want
Yes.
to say, you guys really know me. But this story is not really about me, so that's why. If you missed the boat a little, that's why. But
Okay.
I feel closer to you than ever, both of you.
Fair enough.
No, that
I
makes me feel
take
good.
that.
What a great way to deliver.
See, that was
A
that
criticism sandwich.
Yeah.
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 Was,
So,
yeah. Extra mayonnaise, I like it.
it was a mayonnaise sandwich I just gave you guys. So, okay, so here's the story. It's very close.
Okay.
Okay, so you know, you live in New York a while. You get to know people, and sometimes you.
How long have you been in New York now?
10 years.
10 years.
Oh, wow.
I'm coming up on 13.
Yo.
Caitlin. Damn, I didn't know you was part Beastie Boy.
I guess you become that when you've been here for 10 years. I'm coming up on what, 5 or 6?
Nice.
You come up on 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There it is. So 10 years. So
10 years. And you meet a lot of people, and
Sure.
sometimes you don't become really good friends with them, but you like them.
Yeah.
So I met this guy a long time ago named Doug, and I was like, Doug is great, and he's a sound guy, and I met him and we had a lot of mutual friends, but we were never really gonna hang out very much. We never hung out. But I really liked Doug, and then I was always thinking about Doug because I was always Doug's gay and Doug's single, and I was always just thinking about Doug's single, huh? Shouldn't be, and and then
some people shouldn't be single.
yeah, they shouldn't be. Some people are just, most people, if you want to be in a relationship, you'd be whatever.
Yeah.
But it's this guy, he's a hot tamale.
Yeah.
So then I keep thinking about him. Nothing's gonna happen. But then, maybe 3 years later, I make a new friend, and this guy's name is Greg, and Greg I really like right away. I think he's a really special one, and we start getting coffee, start hanging out. He's dating someone. I do some projects for him. We work together, whatever. And I just think that he's a really good one.
Yeah.
Then we're starting to become better friends, and then he tells me one day that he broke up with the boyfriend. So then I think, okay.
2 solo mice.
Yeah. So then I'm Doug is he's got a warm energy. And Greg, at this point, he's a very warm energy, only dated cold.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Just for reference, you both have warm energy.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? You got to have warm and
You gotta have
cold
warm.
and cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the truth. And he was a warm with a cold. That's a tornado waiting to happen.
Exactly. That's how tornadoes start.
Exactly.
Warm, cold front, cold front, 2 fronts.
Cold
Yeah.
front.
Yeah.
Front.
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 So
Midwest, they know about tornadoes.
That's the truth. And so I'm thinking this has got to happen. But how do I set them up? It's hard to do that in a good way. That's
Yes. You can't force it.
You can have all these ideas about who should be with who.
Yeah.
But okay, so then I talked to someone who's better friends with Doug. Because at this point, Doug and I are acquaintances. Really like Doug.
Yeah.
Think he's a cute guy. But really couldn't reach out to him. It would be weird.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't want to put him off the smell. Right? So then I talked to somebody who's better friends with Doug. I said, how are we going to do this? I got a guy for Doug. And she was like, I think we should have a party. And I was like, but we can't just have a party. It can't be just a regular party because people are going to know.
Yeah.
So we searched the calendar and realized that we should have a party in honor of the full moon. A full moon potluck party.
Hell yeah.
And that just implies so much could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That opens the door for a lot of werewolves.
Witches.
Savagery.
Yeah.
But it seems like kind of something that could just be a random Brooklyn event.
Yes.
Oh, God, yeah.
Right? So,
yeah.
come to my friend's crazy full moon potluck, which is what I said to Greg. Doug was coming because his friends were having the party.
Perfect.
So everyone at this party knows that there is a chance that these two can meet.
I love this.
It's
so
all
much.
staged. Okay, so then I come. I'm like, Greg, you want to come? I'm just coming, whatever. Greg's like, sure, I'll come. So then Greg and Doug, we don't introduce them. We just let them float along in this party pond like algae.
Smart, though. Smart.
Yeah.
It takes 2.5 hours for them to start talking.
Hilarious.
And meanwhile, everyone else in the party's making fake conversations, just trying to listen in to make sure. They finally start talking. They really hit it off. And at the end of the night, Greg's like, do you know that guy Doug? I love his number.
Ooh.
Yes. Okay.
Romance.
And I give the number. And they didn't realize that all their friends were watching them for this whole thing. And they're still together to this day.
I love it. How long has it been?
I think it's been 3 years. Maybe, 3.
That
3 or
is
4.
top level matchmaking.
It was really
Yeah.
good.
That's how you should. That's that, and then that's where we found out like when one day Joe's gonna meet this guy, and we're gonna be like, all of New York City was in on this, Joe.
Yeah.
We founded a city, and we're like, let's comedy. She wants to do comedy. You find out your whole life.
It's all a Truman
It's
Show.
like a matchmaking.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Wait, couple questions.
That's
Do
amazing.
they know that story now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you tell them that?
Pretty soon after. Like
Okay.
after they start. Yeah, I was just like, oh, we have the whole party was staged, and they were like, oh my god.
I mean, that's
so funny.
yeah, that's pretty amazing. But I can also see someone being like, this was a lie. We were set up.
Well, it's like they're both okay. So I had a good
Yeah.
feeling about it because they're both like attractive. Like they're both a really high level of attractive,
Right.
and they're both like the similar age. And like it's like sometimes if there's two hot people in a room that are both whatever, even 55, you
Yeah.
can't keep them away.
right.
It's very true.
That's
I love this because I feel like I've seen a lot of bad matchmaking, and even
I've done
just,
a lot
like-
of bad bets.
Oh, yeah.
Well, also just like even if you tell someone sometimes like, oh, I think I have like a person that you would click with, there's then all this like pressure and preconceived ideas,
And then they look them up on the internet.
Yeah, it's too
Oh,
much.
yeah.
It's too much. Second question was about energies. What makes someone's energy warm or cold? Is this like a theory that you've had that you like apply to most people?
Yeah, you know exactly.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like I totally understand, but then I was trying to think of a cold person because I don't think it's a negative.
no, it's not a
Yeah.
negative.
No. I mean, it's like it's it's all about temperature,
Yeah.
right? And if you hang out with someone and you always have to wear a coat, no, it's real stupid.
This is one of those that I'm like,
that's-
this is so bad. I hate it.
That's something a warm energy person would say. I know. I mean, like a lot of people. I think, sometimes cold energy people are just like it's because they're awkward and they're just.
I think that's
Yeah,
exactly
it's like,
right.
I
And I
don't-
think sometimes it's a
Yeah.
protective thing. And
Yeah.
sometimes warm people are just more
Yeah.
vulnerable.
Yeah. Well, I
And
feel
that's-
like I sometimes have a cold energy. Like sometimes I'm a lukewarm because I am uncomfortable and I want to be more socially adept, but I'm just in my head.
I
Sometimes that happens.
didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I know. You have I think, but I also think everyone has by that rationale, everyone has like a point energy, like what your core is.
Yeah.
But it can shift. Like you can have cold.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
it changes with certain. Because I know I've definitely been in situations where I'm definitely like Pete Lee, a fellow comedian, talks. He met his current girlfriend talking to her on a flight.
Yeah.
And I was like, if that is how I had to meet someone, I would just be alone for the rest of my life. Like, when it comes to like,
That is the time when I think any warm person
Yeah.
also just like
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
encapsulates
Yeah.
their warmth and it's like I am cold now.
yeah.
We all have to survive this plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you meet people with like hot energy where it's like too much.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
like,
Sure.
I want to sleep on this flight or bus or train.
Yeah. And you know
Yeah.
what medications they take. You
Yeah.
Yeah, you know too much about them.
know
Yeah.
where they keep their little blade.
Yeah, their little blade.
Yeah.
They show that to you right off the bat. They're like, I just want you to know I got this.
Yeah.
And this is where I keep it.
They probably mooned you right away, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think it really depends. There's neither warm nor cold is good.
Or bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there are bad parts of both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Do you carry a blade?
No.
That's there was a moment where I would expect you to be whoosh, and you pull out this fucking 8-inch scarab.
Sean has an obsession with knives and has gotten me several. One has a leather sheath that I could potentially put into a belt, but I don't. I should probably carry it around New York, but I think it's kind of illegal.
When you
Probably.
say obsession with knives, makes me sound like a lunatic. It's an
little
appreciation.
bit.
It's an appreciation of knives.
You having to define that makes it more of an obsession.
It is kind of weird that nobody has that with forks.
Yeah. People, I love forks.
Yeah, I got it.
You know?
Here's another fork for your birthday.
Here's another crazy.
There's got to be
This is a
someone.
two.
that's
This is a
just like,
two-pronger.
You know, Chris Duffy was trying to make Spoon his brand for a long time.
Gethard?
Duffy.
Oh,
That's funny.
Chris Spoon being a spoon boy.
Yeah.
Well,
And then
I think spoons are more interesting than forks.
he was trying to give away everybody a spoon. This one kind of spoon that was like his calling card, like the Joker. It was like or the Wet Bandits. It was always the spoon that he was giving out.
Well, I mean, the spoon is the one utensil you can play.
You can't play the spoons.
Like
Oh,
you
come
can't.
on, you can play the knives.
You
Yeah.
could, I mean, it's a different type of music,
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
It's a different sound.
It's a different sound. But
So funny.
yeah, have you guys have one of those spoons that's it's a rubber on the top, metal on the bottom.
That sounds like a reverse. That sounds like a gag
I
spoon.
don't think I do.
Is that wait? Does
Rubber
that
on the
exist?
top and metal on the bottom.
Because that seems like a. Well, let me just grab that metal part. Clearly, the plastics. Oh, ouch!
It's a good spoon.
It sounds like a prank spoon.
What kind of spoon you guys using to stir your stews?
Stew star.
Oh.
A stew spoon.
Oh, stirs.
I use a stew spoon.
I feel like a spatula.
That's for eggs. And don't you ever you mix up spatula and spoon. That's an insult to both.
Thinking about writing the blurb for this podcast
spatula
episode
spoon.
that's like, welcome, Joe Firestone. We talk about everything from spoons to forks.
I mean, what would be like a good prank fork? Like if the prong,
Prank fork.
if
Yeah,
they're-
if it's like one of those like
Just turn
big
it upside
plastic
down.
spaghetti tines, so you like try and stick
Oh.
it in and then just like, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that'd be really good. Or
Or-
one of those dinosaurs that gets bigger in the water.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like or that would be actually if you took a fork and just had little tiny.
Little tiny tines?
What do you call them? Tines?
Tines.
I call them tongs or thongs.
No, they're tines.
Tines.
Fork tines.
Little tiny,
No, fork
little
tongs,
tiny
yeah.
tines where you can't like these little tiny tines. They're too tiny. You know what I mean? Like,
I want
how am I
all of
supposed to-
this to be an animated series of just
So-
different kinds of spoons. And
Basically,
forks.
just like a stick with needles.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, that
It's like,
sounds really-
That
that's a
sounds
bummer.
painful.
Or a spoon, a swelling spoon. So like when you put it in the soup, like the dinosaur, you put it in the soup
Oh.
and then it just expands, and when you go to take it out, it's like way like 5 times the size it was. You know what I mean? It's like a normal spoon, it's in your soup.
I just
There
want.
you go. And someone's like, I'm gonna take a bite of my soup. Wah! The whole like
I feel like
There's
one,
so
we're
much.
all high right now. This conversation went really bonkers, and also I want to be high and then have that happen to one of my utensils, but not know that it was going to
Oh,
happen.
yeah.
And then I think my brain would break a little bit.
A little surprise. I've
Yeah.
never hurt nobody.
Joe Firestone's silly spoons and forks, tiny tines.
I love
You
it.
think these episodes usually kind of veer towards this kind of thing?
Oh
What do
yeah.
you think? So overall, two-tone blend of this podcast, 2-word blend.
2-word blend.
2-word blend.
Yeah, like if it was a little bag of coffee beans, what would the flavor description be?
Ooh.
Oh man, it would be shit. Yeah.
I would say it would be a dark roasted whimsy.
That's 3 words.
Oh, that's good.
Dark
though.
roasted is hyphenated.
Yeah, and it's
Oh.
hyphenated with
Yeah.
whimsy too.
Yeah.
It's one word. You got one
I
more.
would say tactical tomfoolery.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it was a hike, I guess it would be. I'm kind of thinking.
If it was a hike,
Yeah.
by now we've just gotten to a campground.
Mm.
We're like there's just a bunch of other people like we're lost too, and we just
And it's time for some ghost stories.
so we just all hang out
Oh.
and tell friendly ghost stories because
Yeah.
they're scary.
What was the game? We don't have to do this if you don't
Yeah,
want
that-
to, but what we were playing last night?
I think that's
Okay,
That would
2
be
off the
that would be a
rails.
4.5 hour
I
edition.
will edit.
You don't edit any of this. This is content.
Content. Can you guys tell me the game after?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely tell you
It's a-
afterwards.
it's a fun game.
But yeah. But speaking of games, where if someone was playing the game of Find Joe Firestone on the internet,
Yeah.
No, you can't win, but you can do it.
it's joefirestone.biz. No?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, that could. Yeah, one of those .edu, .gov. One of those should get you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Joe short for Josephine?
It's short for Joanna.
Joanna.
But I love the name Josephine. I think that'd be a nice thing.
I like Joanna too, though.
They're all.
I dig Joe.
Thank you.
Just Joe.
And is Sean?
Spontaneous. Spontaneous. Yeah.
And Caitlin is
Caitlin Elanio. Yep.
Caitlin Elanio. Yeah. I don't know why you have trouble saying it every time. Caitlin Elanio. It's yeah.
A lot of syllables.
Shanana. Shanana.
Shanana. I look out for Joe Firestone's book. Do you have a book? You seem like you would be an author.
Thank you so much. That's so nice of you to say.
You do.
Do you? No, but do you?
I dropped the whole box of books in the river. I don't have a book anymore.
That's part of the hike.
I know.
You know what I mean?
You got to figure out how to read those pages that are all like water torn.
Yeah, they're all water.
You gotta find the books at the bottom of the creek.
Yeah. So please tell people I had a book, but it fell in the river.
Yeah. And they're gonna be like, "What does that even mean?" I'm like, "If you can't decipher it, you can't read it. It's a riddle."
That should be your tagline on your website at joefirestone.biz. Joe Firestone, comedian. She had a book, but it fell in the river.
Oh, yeah. Same with a movie, yeah.
Yeah. Threw that in the lake, had a TV show, ate it.
Then I slipped in a puddle. Yeah. But go look up Joe.
Thanks.
She has a show every Monday called Butter Boy that I love very much.
I say look up Joe and watch her comedy because I don't know if you, the listener, took my assessment / analogy metaphor of her comedy as me being serious or not. But do it. It's adventurous and it's fun.
It's amazing.
And
also,
thank you.
You were great on Shrill.
Thank
I
you.
just watched that second season. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Thank you.
And she was on a TV show called Shrill.
Yeah.
Oh, then there you go. Yeah. So she probably does have a book called Burning the Rock, Firestone.
Yeah, it's called Burning the Rock. It's about my struggle with cocaine and this.
Yeah. See Joe.
Yeah.
Be Joe. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. See Joe. Hear Joe. Say hi to Joe.
No.
Tell her how you. But
don't
only
say hi to Joe.
Don't say hi to Joe.
Yeah.
See Joe.
Okay.
Hear Joe.
Support Joe.
Applaud and
Don't
support
comment
Joe.
on any of her things.
Yeah. And as you leave the room, look back at the stage and go and mouth the words, "Thank you."
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Bring her a weird spoon.
And bring her and leave it on the seat though.
Yeah.
Leave her different.
Don't talk to her. Just bring her a weird spoon.
Leave a spoon.
I would love if that
Or a
became
fork. Or another utensil that maybe we don't know about here in America.
a spork.
I think that's a really good answering machine. Please leave a spoon after the beep.
I want to end it right there. That's perfect. Okay.
Well,
Bye-bye. Hey everybody, Caitlin here. As you may know, I like to end every episode with a song. Usually it's based on something we talked about or a song that we referenced. For this one, Joe was kind of making up a lot of different random songs and jingles as we talked. So I took this moment right here.
I love
mayonnaise, ketchup, yellow mustard, salt and pepper. There you go.
And
that seemed a lot more fun to turn into a song rather than recreating the Music Man's Gary, Indiana. So without further ado, thank you for listening. Here is Joe Firestone's The Top 5 Condiments. Mayonnaise, ketchup, yellow mustard, salt and pepper, there you go. This is the Top 5 Condiment Song, lyrics by Joe Fire.